Most students sit down to their IGCSE First Language English exam, thinking they are taking a standard reading comprehension test. They are wrong. You are actually stepping into a high-stakes game of psychological influence. Look at the cover of this official Cambridge Learner Guide. Hidden within these requirements is the Directed Writing Assessment. This single section tests your reading and writing skills simultaneously, controlling up to 50% of your overall grade. And yet, thousands of students fall into the exact same trap year after year. Examiners call it the passive opinion. This happens when you read a source text and simply summarize the points or state that you agree with the author. If you regurgitate facts or lift direct quotes from the text, your marks will drop significantly. You are only proving you can copy, not that you can think. Passing requires more than comprehension. You win marks by evaluating the author's ideas, assimilating their arguments, and weaponizing those facts to persuade a specific audience. First, establish your parameters using TAP: text type, audience, and purpose. Type and purpose dictate your physical format. A persuasive speech differs entirely from a reflective journal. Your audience tells you exactly who is listening, dictating the precise vocabulary and sentence length allowed. Think about the real-world application. A formal letter of complaint to a strict headmaster requires a highly structured, respectful register. An impassioned speech to your high school peers, however, needs shorter, punchier sentences and relatable language to connect. If you start writing without locking in your TAP, you are deploying the wrong weapon for the target. Even the most articulate arguments lose their impact if the register doesn't match the prompt. Once your parameters are set, you have to construct a convincing persona. You aren't writing as yourself. You are adopting a specific character designed to influence the reader. Equip that persona using the framework ARIPE, Forest, to recall persuasive devices. First, imperatives, command verbs, seize attention and assert authority. Next, personal pronouns, like we, build an instant psychological alliance. Finally, emotive language strikes a nerve, injecting a human voice into the argument. Think of these devices as structural blueprints. They provide the evidence needed to convince the reader that your chosen persona is a real, authentic authority on the subject. With your persona built, move on to the highest scoring skill in the rubric, evaluation. This is where you actively dismantle and reconstruct the source text. Evaluate nonfiction using the positive-negative solution method. First, the positive phase acknowledges a specific claim, showing surface-level understanding. Next, the negative phase probes implicit ideas, exposing hidden bias. Finally, the solution phase assimilates your critique, offering a superior alternative in your own words. First, you validate, then you expose, and you resolve. This sequence signals to the examiner that you are no longer just absorbing the text, you are controlling it. To hold this entire strategy together, you must follow 3 non-negotiable rules. Rule 1, never lift. Use your own words, always. Rule 2, balance is power. A reasoned compromise that weighs both sides of an issue will always outscore a one-sided rant. Rule 3, connectives are glue. Words like furthermore, however, and consequently control the flow of logic and dictate the exact pace at which the examiner reads your work. Complex vocabulary is just a tool. The final challenge is managing the reader's pacing, emotions, and logic simultaneously through the specific sequence of your arguments. But knowing the strategy is only half the battle. Practice makes permanent. Download the workbook linked below right now. Test your tactical execution and ensure you are ready for exam day.